All right, there you are. Hey, everybody. I am so glad that the gang is back together. And I know that y'all have all been together, but I have not been with you in every course. And I missed you. And I'm just happy that every week now I'm going to get to check in with you and see how all of you are doing. I am at my parents' house in southern Louisiana, and I went to church this morning, so my accent is back in full force. It usually goes away, but once you start praying in a southern church in Mississippi, there's not much I can do about it, but it'll wear off and I'll sound like a Midwesterner soon enough. But my parents have terrible internet service, the worst. They live on the bayou, so I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm not going to be able to make this lecture, it's not a lecture, video talk as long as I planned, because I really don't know how much video I can upload without the computer, catching on fire. Who knows? So I have a few things I want to cover that I know you're going to have questions about, because students always have questions about in this course. And then once I'm back in St. Louis this week, my internet will be so much better. But if you have any questions, do not hesitate to call me. My cell phone does work here, or text or email me. I do leave the woods at least once a day to go to town. And all my emails will come flooding in at that point. So I'll be able to answer any questions that you have. But so some big picture stuff that I want you to know about so you're not confused. The assignments that you have, one of them is an interview, and the instructions ask for you to interview somebody who is working in curriculum development of some kind. And so that's somebody on a curriculum committee, or someone who's on faculty senate, or a department chair, somebody who sort of has a bird's eye view of curriculum and the process that curriculum needs to go through before it can be approved and offered. If you have a hard time tracking down someone like that, it is okay to interview a faculty member, because another important part of this class is learning how an idea becomes a course. What does that process look like? And faculty have just as good a sense of that as anybody. So that would be okay too. Just someone who is going to give you some insight wherever you happen to be. If you're a regular instructor who teaches all the time, you might interview somebody very different than someone who's never created a course before. And so you have some wiggle room there, is my point. So the other major assignment is this new course, and it's sort of broken up. The first thing that's going to be due is a new course rationale and description. So basically you are going to create a course about anything that you would like to teach. So the idea is to choose something that's in your wheelhouse. It doesn't have to be higher education. I've had students create courses for people at their office, sort of a professional development kind of course. And I've had people create lesson plans for their church group. If you're in charge of youth or are creating a longer sort of summer Bible study or something like that, that would be okay. The point is to design something that doesn't currently exist, that you think should exist, and that you feel you could do a good job of designing and executing, right, and actually teaching. So the first chunk of that's due is going to be the rationale. So why do we need this course? What is the purpose of creating it? And the description and the background. That first assignment related to the course, those items are going to be copied and pasted right into the final major project, which is the presentation of that course. So at the end of the semester, you'll produce a paper that has those components, the rationale, the background, the description. And you'll add a few pieces that make up the actual design of the course. And you'll present all of that in a video format so that your colleagues can watch and we can give feedback to you. The last 2 weeks of the course are just going to be feedback on those course presentations. So it looks like 2 major projects, but really if you do that first one, the description and rationale, it will be used in the major project that's due at the end. So it's not as much work as it seems. But that being said, it's a pretty big project to come up with a course from nothing and develop it and justify why it needs to exist and create a portfolio where you sort of make your argument about why you would be the best instructor for it. So it's kind of a big project, but not as big as it seems when you look at the list of assignments. So that being said, start thinking now about what that course might be, because as we move into the second, third, fourth week of the course, we'll talk about syllabus design and learning objectives, and it would be great if you already had at least the theme or the topic of your course sorted out for yourself, so that any work we do, you can apply to that and save yourself some time and not be doing anything that would be busy work just for the, just to learn the skill. You'd be learning a skill, but also applying it to something important that you're going to use and turn in later too. So that's what I wanted to say about that assignment. And then the other thing you're going to be thinking about this week is your dissertation goal. Some of you, I am your chair, so we're already talking and thinking about your dissertation goal. So you're going to post it in Canvas. 2 different schools start this week, and I'm having a hard time keeping track of who's teaching what. You'll post it in Canvas informally, just so your colleagues know what everybody's working on, and so we can all hold each other accountable. But you'll do a more formal write-up where you articulate what it is you plan to accomplish. And it doesn't matter if you don't meet the goal in the course. The important thing is that you're working towards it and that you report on it at the end and let me know, let your colleagues know, I got there, I had the time and I made it work, or something happened and I didn't. But once it's written down, you are going to automatically hold yourself more accountable to it. So we want to make sure we include that part, and that we use part of your time in the course to get some of those major items done. So yeah, make sure you're thinking about that this week too. So this week, I'm not sure everybody has textbooks yet. I know sometimes those can get delayed when you're buying them used or things like that. So the reading for this week is actually a chapter from another reading that I have posted online for you. It's there. You can download it and read it. And the discussion board is about that. And it's basically covering the different theoretical perspectives of curriculum development. And it's all very different, all these different perspectives, but there's a ton of intersection. There's a ton of areas where one approach may not work well for a particular type of class or course or learner or institution, or fill in the variable. Another one might, and they can be sort of buffet style. You can select the things that would work when you're designing a course. So it's good to just know the foundation, like what are all of the possible approaches to designing curriculum. And I'm going to ask you to think about which ones sort of ring true for you and which ones you've been exposed to that worked, which ones you've been exposed to that you did not, reflect the way that you learn and what you might want to do in your course design. So you've got reading and a discussion board. You've got the dissertation goal, where you just sort of put that in writing in Canvas so we all can look at it in black and white and go, okay, that's what we said we were going to do. And then the third piece is just to start thinking about what course you might want to design and make it something that you can use, that you aren't just going to produce and then stick on a shelf and say, check that box, I did that thing for that course. There might be something that you really could use at your institution or in a future institution or at your church or at your, my church does like a Wednesday night prayer meeting where we take turns bringing in a reading and a lesson about that. And you could even think about doing a collection of smaller lessons, but make it something that is meaningful to you, that you can care about for the next 10 or so weeks as you delve into it and start producing original content around it. It needs to ring true for your heart, to do a good job with it, and to feel like your time's being well spent. I want you to have something you can use. I should have just said that. Crushing it. Okay, so that is all. We'll be checking in early this week on Canvas and seeing who's talking and trying to give you all some responses as quick as they come in. Again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. I'm just really excited to have all of you back, and I hope that you had a wonderful holiday and got to spend some time with family and maybe not thinking about this stuff for just a little bit. Hopefully you just hung out and relaxed for a little while, but that's over now, so you need to get it together and get back to work. Just kidding. This is going to be a fun class, and I'm not worried about any of you at all. Looking forward to working with you again. Have a great week, everybody. Bye.